everyone, how you doing? So today I wanted to make a 2xKO video about the Shadow Reaper Kayn and how I think he would play in the 2xKO fighting game. If you like videos like this and you want to see more, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Okay, so the first thing I really wanted to go over is his passive, because his passive is linked to everything in his kit. So, in the MOBA game, he gets two different forms depending on what he does. If he attacks a whole bunch of ranged units, he gets blue orbs, and getting enough blue orbs gives him the option to transform into his Shadow Assassin form. And if he attacks melee units, he gets a whole bunch of red orbs. Getting enough of those allows him to fill up the bar to allow him to transform into his darkened form. I say transform, but in all honesty, what happens is he loses the fight with the Scythe Darkened Rost. The Scythe kills him and takes over his body. So yeah, but let's get into it. So that's how he gets his forms in the MOBA game. Now, if he were to be put in the fighting game, I could see them doing it this way. So, you start off as regular Kayn, right? And you have the option to get either form, Shadow Assassin or the Darkened form. I think he should be able to get the Shadow Assassin form if he's doing really good. Like, you know, he's popping off, he's confident, he's doing all this crazy ass damage, mixing them up. He's on a roll, he's steamrolling the enemy. He's like, alright, let's do this. It's time to unleash my true power. I just need the way of the ninja, the way of the shadows. I don't need you, Rost. What I do want is your power, though. And then he kills Ross, and then he gets the form, and then he just gets even stronger and just starts going crazy even more in the game. I think that would be a cool way to do his Shadow Assassin form. He's on a roll, he's doing good, and he's winning the rounds, and you know, when he gets enough meter, he just that's the automatic form that he gets during the game. Now, when it comes to the Darkened form, I think that would be a cool form to get if he's losing. You know, he's on the back foot, he's getting his ass beat, he doesn't really know what to do. Oh shit, god damn it, the way of the shadows isn't what I thought it would be. Maybe I do need the help of Ross, maybe I do need his power, I'm desperate here, Ross help me out. And then Ross betrays that fool, kills him, takes over his body, and then you get to play as the Darkened. Sort of like the Dragon install system in Guilty Gear, because in that game you get Dragon install, but you can only do it at low health. You know what I'm saying? Which, would it make it the best install in the game? I mean, unless Ross gets lifesteal, probably not, because you explode into it scale. Alright, now let's go over his abilities to it. His basic Q, Reaping Slash, is, as you see, it's a dash with a spin. In the game, in the fighting game, I've been seeing that they've kind of been enhancing the premise of enhancing people's abilities to the point where, you know, you can see it's the MOBA ability, but just more to it. So I could see his Q being a sort of like a record combination that ends with the dash, as you see in the video, but you know, really cool as a mix-up option. In the Shadow Assassin form, I could see maybe the final slash being dash being faster, so it doesn't have really a gap, or you know, covering more distance to make a more reliable gap closer. You know, things in that nature. When it comes to the Ross form, honestly, I'm just gonna bring it here. Even when in the Ross form, I can see the Q, and the W just having straight armor on it. Could it heal him? Maybe, but you know, maybe they won't do that, because I know sustain is his thing, but you know, that's in the MOBA game. He's a junker, so he needs that stuff. He may not need to have bullshit lifesteal in the fighting game, but I could see his Q and W, at least in the fighting game, as the Darkened, having super armor on it. Where, because you know, Ross' whole thing is, I'm coming to kill you and there ain't nothing that can really stop me. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of my way or I'll run you over. Or stay in my way so I can still run you over. Let's go. Especially, I got this idea because of how his W works in the MOBA as the Darkin. Once he activates that move, there ain't nothing on. He'll still get CC'd if you hit him with CC, but the move won't stop. Like, he is dedicated to hitting you with that no matter what. He is going to run you over with it. I think the Shadow Assassin version works like that as well. It's uninterruptible after its casting, but I digress. I do believe that it would be really cool for Ross to get armor on his moves if you played as him. Now, when it comes to the distance, maybe it's the same distance with the same sort of mix-up potential as regular Kayn would be, but, you know, just with armor. Now, in the regular form for Kayn, it's basically a shockwave across the ground. It could be a very good projectile when it comes to regular Kayn. Now, when it comes to Shadow Assassin Kayn, I could see it being a projectile that doesn't lock him in place. You know how they do in the mobile game, because as you see in the video, he can do the projectile or the grounded shockwave, but he can't move. When he's a Shadow Assassin, he summons a shadow to do the move for him. I can see them doing it to where, you know, same thing applies in a fighting game. Do a ground shockwave when he's normal, but as a Shadow Assassin, he can do the ground shockwave with a shadow, giving him a chance to come up and apply pressure for mix-up potential and all that stuff, which would be really freaking cool. Now, as I want to go back to Rost as with the W. Now, when Rost does it, he doesn't summon anything. Like, he plants his feet in the ground and still does the shockwave, but he gets a knockup, what Shadow Assassin Kayn and regular Kayn do not have. You know what? Now, if they don't give it armor properties, the W, I could really see it being combo extension potential, like juggle potential. You know, where he's doing a combo and then Darkin does the blade reach W and they just knock the enemy up in the air or slam him into the wall and keep doing extra combo damage. That would be sweet. And now let's go over the E, Shadow Step. I'm gonna be honest with you, like as you see in the video, it allows him to go through walls. I mean, okay. I mean, there's a corner on each side of the game when it comes to the fighting game, fighting games in general, but I don't really see them, you know, doing something like that wall-wise with that. I could see them giving it a property to where, you know, instead of going through walls in the fighting game, it allows them to go through projectiles. That could be really sick. I guess they can make it faster too, to where he's like, you know, it could be added as an extra tool to his mix-up game. You know, a high-speed shadow dash as a way for him to get in and start doing work. Sort of like a really good rushdown character. Maybe he doesn't have like the most health or like the best ways for people to get off of him. You know, maybe aside from that armor knockup I was talking about. But anyway, but I think that'd be really cool. Now, when it comes to Shadow Assassin, maybe the dash goes farther, and the Shadow Step goes farther, and maybe he gets two of them, and maybe as Ross the Darkin, he has the ability to, you know, I don't know how they would do it as Rost as with that, because the only thing different between regular Kayn and regular Kayn's Shadow Step and Rost's Shadow Step the Darkin is the fact that nothing. It's nothing really. A Shadow Assassin in the mobile game, it reduces the cooldown of the ability and he's immune to slows. So maybe the Shadow Step is more beneficial for Shadow Assassin and regular Kayn than it is for Ross, but who knows. And then we have the ultimate. Now, this ability is a really good move in the MOBA for tower diving and, you know, getting yourself out of a tight spot for a temporary amount of time and dealing damage. So, after Kayn hits an enemy, or Ross hits an enemy, they have the option to click the enemy, go into the enemy for a long period of time, and then come out of their body and deal damage. Now, that being said, as regular Kayn in the fighting game, I can see it being a standard ultimate as you see in the video. Standard cinematic, you know. Go in, hide, laugh maniacally. Maybe not that. And then leave the enemy's body and deal a whole bunch of damage. Shadow Assassin, maybe it does more damage the lower the enemy's health is, or I don't know. Like I really don't know how they would actually enhance it in any way. Maybe, yeah, well, maybe that. Maybe it does more damage the lower the enemy's health is, or maybe it just does more flat damage as Shadow Assassin, and maybe as Ross, it does the same amount of damage as Kayn, but it heals him, because that's what it does when Ross is a Darken. When the Darken Ross gets the ultimate and he takes over the body, you know, it heals him, which it doesn't do that as regular Kayn or Shadow Assassin, so maybe they could add it like that. Well, who really knows? But I think this will be a really interesting, fun way to do Kayn in the fighting game. But let me know in the comment section down below how you think they should do Kayn if he were to get in the fighting game. Take it easy out there, everybody.